Hi guys, it's Carol from Cape Cod Cottage Garden, and join me today as I try to organize the chaos that is my seed collection. So when I looked back at what I filmed for this video, it was all over the place. So you're gonna see me sometimes in this sweater and sometimes in a different, because I had to clip in extra pieces to make it make sense. I don't know what I was thinking, but here you go. So what I did first was I just laid out my flower seeds on this side and all my vegetable seeds on this side. Sorry, it's a little glary down here. Step one is I'm going to organize all my seeds by variety, meaning onions with onions, by type of seed. Onions with onions, calendula with calendula, and then I'll see if I have any doubles and I'll go from there. That's step one. So I finished the first step, putting like vegetables together. All my peppers in a pile, all my lettuces in a pile, all my zucchini in a pile, etc., etc. And now I went through, and the next step I did was I went through and I put the date I purchased the seeds. So some of these were purchased last year and some of them on this year. Because there are some seeds that aren't viable for very long. For example, onions. These were my onion seeds from last year. I absolutely loved growing onions. I'm still using them in January. Last night I made a soup. I used a bunch of my own onions and my last carrots for the season I used in January, at the very end of January. How fantastic is that? But onions are notorious for not lasting long in seeds. They say like after a year, they're really not great. But don't just toss these out, because all it really means is that the germination rates will go down. So instead of getting like 90 or 100% germination, with these onions, you might get like half. And another thing you want to think about is, what did you enjoy eating last year? Like we grew some things that, why did I grow them? We barely ate them. For example, cabbage. I grew several heads of cabbage last year and they were gorgeous. We ate about 1/4 of one head of cabbage. So even though I enjoyed growing cabbage, and it is actually pretty in the garden, I'm gonna only grow this if I have room. So this I'm gonna set aside and say, hey, if I have room in my garden after I do my plan, then I'll grow cabbage. Otherwise, it's gonna wait. Really just pick what you love to eat. For example, dragon tongue beans. These we ate probably 2-3 times a week or more. We loved these string beans. They were so good. So I plan on dedicating a good portion of my garden to these beans. Basically, grow what you eat, grow what you love. So that's my next task, is I'm gonna go through and decide exactly what I want to grow next year and make my plan from there. So next is a little example of all the different seeds and how long they last, just so you have a good idea of how long these seeds will be viable for. So another step in deciding what to grow is you have to know what kind of space you have. So you have to know how many plants you can fit in your garden, how many plants you can fit in your grow space before you can decide how many seeds and which seeds you're going to grow for the year. So just something to keep in mind, if you fill every single shelf of your grow space with these, by the time you pot up to these, you're not going to have any room. So I would always go by what you think is going to get to this size and then determine how much space you have, and then that will determine how many seeds you can sow. Obviously, not everything has to be potted up to this size, but that is another consideration when you're planning which seeds to grow and how to organize your seeds. So now that you've organized all your seeds and you've decided what you really want to plant this year, now it's time to determine when you have to start sowing seeds. And in order to do that, I use a garden journal. So this is mine from last year, but this is mine from this year. And what you do is you're going to determine your last frost date, and mine is on April 18th, so I have it written right there. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to mark every week prior. So this would be week 1, then week 2, so on and so forth. So then you can look at your seed packets and decide, oh, what do I plant on 8 weeks before my last frost? So you're going to go back to where you have 8 weeks right here. And I usually plant on Friday or Saturday, so I write in everything I have to plant 8 weeks before my last frost. So once you have everything marked down in your garden journal, what I do is I use one of these. As you see, a lot of people use these. These are like those photo storage bins, but I have one for my vegetables and one for my flowers because I have so many seeds. So then what you do is you just organize them like this. What I do is I write whether I'm going to sew it indoors, direct sew, and the date. So example, this is sew indoors, 2/24/24, week 8. Okay, and in here probably should be my peppers. Let's see. Yep. So everything I'm going to sew on that week. So when the week comes, I can just pull out this little package, take out what I'm going to sew that week, and start sewing. It makes it so much easier. So I hope you guys have found these steps in organizing and planning out what you're going to grow for the year helpful. I know that when I feel overwhelmed with like how chaotic all my seeds were, I just get paralyzed and I do nothing. So I just avoid, like I procrastinate. But now that it's done, I'm so happy because it's just about seed starting time. So I can just go in my little box, pull out the week and get it done. And I just hope that my videos are encouraging someone to get out there and try to grow their own food from seed. It is so rewarding. Not only are you feeding your family, you get your hands in the dirt. And I know for me, it's super therapeutic to get out there and dig in the dirt. I don't know what it is, but it grounds me and it really fills me up. So I just really want everyone else to have that same feeling that I have when I'm planting. So give it a try. If it's your first time, don't expect to be perfect. Start on a small scale, but give it a try. And also, I just want to take a moment to thank everyone that supported me in my channel. It's so great to hear the questions and the feedback. And I know I'm far from perfect. But I try to give myself grace and move on and learn every single year. So thank you so much for watching. And if you like the content, please like and subscribe. And until next time, talk to you later. Bye-bye.